Hi, Rob Snow again. Just going to show you a quick and easy technique to use, again, using both Photoshop and Illustrator. Um, it's done from one of my older tutorials which was written. I'm going to show you the video version. Here's one of my pictures. Um, it looks okay, kind of nice styling and everything. How about though if we made it a little bit more dynamic and had some kind of wonderful burst coming out of it. It's like a sunburst. I've got an example because I've obviously done this before. Something like this. Now, doesn't that look a lot more exciting and dynamic than that? Yep, so what I'm going to do is show you how to make this. Again, it's not something you can do easily in Illustrator, but with the help of Photoshop, we can make this work. Doesn't matter at the moment about the fact that this is this shape, and what I'm going to do in Illustrator is square. Okay, but I'm just going to make a new one. Let's make it, that's fine, 2000. So I'm going to call it Radial Burst. Okay, like so. Just open it up so we don't have to look at the other one for the time being. Now, what we need to do, let me just go to layers. What we need to do is go here. Now normally it's either set for something like this or one of the other shapes, never usually set for custom shape tool. But what you need to do is if you press U, actually it allows you to, doesn't allow you to go through, it does allow you to go through them. You have to press Shift U. What we need is the custom shape one, which is the one that looks like a funny wobbly star, which is here. And also we need to make sure that it's set for this one, which is a vector shape. I tend to usually have it in bitmap mode, which is that one, but make sure it's set for this one, which is the first one in the three. Okay, and also in your brushes you need to scroll down until you find the black diamond, black triangle. Okay, now from this point on we can start building our shape. Let's just close that. Roughly try to guess where halfway is, and then create a, it doesn't matter if it's in the middle at the moment, create a vector the way you want it. It doesn't matter if it goes outside as well. Okay, like so. It's also good to point out actually that you should have it on the black and white default setting, so it fills it black. You'll notice in your layer palette here it's got the black colour. Okay, you can change that if you want to, but I'm just saying, why make a mess when you can start with the defaults straight away. Now I'm just going to move this here like so, like that. Now if I just press Command T, it brings up my transform options. If I just go to there, to that point there, it flicks to the last point of the actual object. As you'll notice, it's on the anchor point. Okay, which is what we want. Just go back out again. And from that point on, what we can do, if we actually do it so we can see the rotation tool and then press Shift, if we just move it to the right twice, so it's like that, fine. Okay, it actually moves it so it's actually missed a stage out, which is what you want. It goes black, white, black, white, black, white. Okay, now if we deselect that, oops, apply it first, sorry, deselect it. Now if you go to Edit, Transform, it's got this option again, yeah, but we don't want to just do it once, we want to do it several times. So what we can do, literally by using the keyboard, is press down your Command or Control, Alt and Shift, and then press T, and what happens is it just keeps repeating it round and round and round with that gap until it gets down to the start point. Okay, it has all the same proportional spacing and everything, which is fantastic. And you'll notice in your layer palette it's all on the same layer as well. Okay, and also if you go to your paths palette, you'll notice it's all one vector shape as well. Okay, which is what we want. Now from this point, what we do is we go to export paths to Illustrator, like so. And you notice it's the same as the one that's in the paths, because there's no other one there. Okay, and then press OK. And I'm just going to put this on my desktop. It's Radial Burst AI. Save it, like so. I'm just going to hide Photoshop. Now we go to here. Now I'm going to select layer 2 and then just put another sub layer, and then just open. If I go to my desktop, just got Radial Burst, like so. What will happen is, hang on, no art, crop areas, legacy bound box. Okay. What happens is when you open it to start with, it looks like you've made a mistake and nothing's there. Okay. Whereas if I open this, you'll notice it's got all the compound paths registered, like so. Yeah. Now what we need to do, obviously, is make that into one big compound path. So you just press Command 8. You'll notice it's just turned it into one big compound. Okay. I'm just going to copy that. We don't need to save that. Don't save. Go back to our illustration. Paste it. As you can see, as I said before, there's absolutely no colour in the object, but whilst it's in that mode, I'm just going to resize it because we want to make it a little bit more dynamic. And the reason I'm doing it like that, and it's got some spaces at the edges, because I can then, because it's proportional, hold down Shift and just move it until all the shape areas are actually outside. Let's move that down now until that's in the center. You'll notice everything is outside the object. So what I can do now is, if I zoom in, it's not going to be exactly the same as the original one because I've done it slightly different. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make a radial blur, and instantly you'll notice it does that. Okay, now we can obviously change the colours so that this is, oops, see, okay. We need it kind of like a darkish colour of what's already there, and this needs to be a lighter colour of what's already there, like so. This is a very quick example, not as good as the original, never mind. Now if I just deselect that, you'll see basically it's created a radial blur, not as good as the original, but the point is it's a radial blur. Now you'll notice it's got some effects that we need to get rid of. The quickest way to do that is, if you notice it's got the path for the background, I'm just going to duplicate that, put it inside the layer that's got the radial blur, and obviously if you've got the path above the compound and you select everything and press Command 7, it creates a crop area, clipping path, okay, which then makes your radial blur look effective. So hopefully that's a way to make it work, so you can use Photoshop to create a nice radial blur. If you do want to make it a little bit more dynamic like this one with more spaces, you just simply make the objects thinner, and then obviously they do the staging in more steps around like that. Obviously you can spend time doing the colouring the way you want to and everything. Okay, hope that works. You can also look at my blog for more tutorials. Okay.